of India, there's a river that's, well, it's different. It's so sacred and unique, it's often called the Riva, the leaping one. This is the story of the Narmada, a river that really seems to have a mind of its own, with a personality carved from ancient rock and timeless myths.
So, right off the bat, here's the central puzzle. If you look at a map of India, you'll see a pretty clear pattern, right? All the huge rivers, the Ganga, the Godavari, the Krishna, they all flow east, emptying into the Bay of Bengal. But the Narmada? Nope. It completely breaks the mold. It carves this defiant path west. So the big, simple question is, why?
To really get to the bottom of this mystery, we've got to understand just how special this river is. We're going to look at its story in 3 layers. The hard science that's written in ancient rock, the incredible legends whispered along its banks, and the deep, powerful faith it inspires.
And this really puts it all in perspective. On one side, you've got the giants of the Indian river system, all playing by the rules, flowing east. And then you have these 2 rebels, the Narmada and the Tapti, just charting their own course straight to the Arabian Sea. It's a major exception to a continental rule.
And don't get me wrong, we're not talking about some small stream here. At over 1,300 kilometers long, the Narmada is the 5th longest river in the entire country, and by far the longest one that flows west. That's an absolutely immense journey, one that carves up landscapes and shapes countless lives along the way.
So let's start with the science. What's the geological reason for this westward rebellion? Well, it turns out it's not really about the river's power, but about the very ground beneath it. The answer, and I love this, is literally set in stone, deep inside the Earth's crust.
Okay, so here's the key. The Narmada flows through something called a rift valley. The easiest way to think about it is like a massive ancient crack in the earth, a ready-made channel just waiting for water. Ages and ages ago, as the Indian tectonic plate was doing its thing, the land between 2 huge parallel faults just sank. This created a natural westward sloping path. So get this, the river didn't carve the path was already there waiting for the river.
And this really shows you that journey so clearly. The Narmada begins way up high on the Amarkantak Plateau. Almost right away, it gets sandwiched between these 2 massive mountain ranges. You've got the Vindhyas to the north and the Satpuras to the south. These act like giant walls, creating that rift valley and basically funneling the river west, past incredible sites like the marble rocks of Beta Ghat, all the way until it finally meets the Arabian Sea.
But, science is only one side of the story. For millions of people, the Narmada's course wasn't shaped by geology at all. It was shaped by heartbreak. And this brings us to a completely different and much more personal explanation for why it flows west.
So the legend goes like this. Narmada was a princess, and she was engaged to Prince Sonbhadra. She really wanted to meet him, but because of custom, she couldn't. So she sent for maid Juhila with a message. The problem was, when Sonbhadra saw Juhila, he mistook her for the princess and was totally captivated. When Narmada finally went to see what was taking so long, she found them together. Absolutely shattered by the betrayal, in this single moment of pure agony, she turned her back on Sonbhadra and forged a completely new path, in the opposite direction. She flowed westward, vowing to remain a virgin river forever. And to this day, the Sonbhadra River flows east.
It's this incredible blend of geography and myth that really fuels the river's deep spiritual identity. I mean, to truly understand the Narmada, you have to understand that for millions of people, it is not just a body of water. It's a living deity. It's a source of salvation.
This ancient saying just captures the Narmada's status so perfectly. In Hindu belief, sure, other rivers can cleanse you if you perform a ritual bath. But the Narmada is considered so pure, so incredibly powerful, that just looking at its waters is a sacred act that can wash away your sins.
The story goes that Lord Shiva himself blessed this river. He declared it would be eternal, that it would survive even a cosmic apocalypse. But the most incredible blessing was this. He said that every single smooth stone tumbled in its waters would be a sacred Shiva Linga, a manifestation of Shiva himself. These stones, called Narmadeshwar, are seen as inherently holy. They don't need any human rituals to make them sacred. The divine is just already there. And its importance goes even beyond Hinduism. For the indigenous Gandhi people, the Narmada has an even more foundational role. To them, she's not some external god to be worshipped, but their ancestral mother, the life-giving source from which their people first emerged. It is literally their origin story. It is their identity.
So, What do we have? We've got a river defined by geology, a direction explained by myth, and a sacredness felt by millions. All these different threads weave together to create the river's modern identity as a true, undeniable lifeline.
And that's not just some poetic phrase. The Narmada provides drinking water, irrigation for farms, and hydroelectric power to huge parts of central and western India. Its practical, life-sustaining importance is every bit as profound as its spiritual one. It really is the lifeline for millions of people across 2 whole states. All of which leaves us with one final thought. When we look at the Narmada, we see a rebel swimming against the current, a heartbroken princess, a source of salvation, and a lifeline for millions. It really makes you wonder, what actually defines a river? Is it just the water flowing in its channel? Or is it the sum of all the stories, all the beliefs, and all the lives it carries along with it?